Hello everyone, you joined me in my living room. 2 English videos in quick succession recently. Unfortunately, not the circumstances I would have liked to do 2 new English videos. Obviously, we've had a bit of an incident in the Batmobile. I don't know if you guys have seen, which is obviously not my Batmobile, it was the Batmobile of Team Galags. And myself and Cole, who is holding the camera, were in the car driving from London down to Brussels and eventually Amsterdam for a little bit of a trip, and we were going to an event there. Look, I'm sure you can imagine that this obviously isn't the easiest thing to deal with just on a personal level, but let alone when it's sort of been blown up publicly. I don't want this to be a really sort of upset, sad video, but it's also just not upbeat. It's the reality of it. It's something which is hard to deal with. And when it's out there publicly and you're having to not only deal with the facts themselves, but then also deal with the public perception of it and all the rumors going around and all that, it adds an extra layer of it being tricky. So it has not been an easy couple of days trying to manage all of that together. There was an incident, it has been sort of all over the place online, so I thought best thing to do before you guys hear too many rumors is just to tell you what happened from my point of view and explain everything from them, so you have all the facts and it just clears up the air, I think. So we're literally just gonna sit here, we'll overlay some photos and things to describe what happened. So first of all, as I said, we were leaving London, so we took the tunnel under the channel tunnel. In the Batmobile, we were also joined with 2 friends who had 2 Aventadors, Aventador SVs, 1 Roadster, 1 Coupe, both in yellow. So it was a lovely convoy. We were driving along and got stopped by the police. The Batmobile attracts a lot of attention, so the police stopped us, mainly just to take photos actually. So, we chatted about the car and everything, and then they actually gave us an escort back onto the motorway. Now, the Aventadors had not stopped with us. They had sort of gotten off at the next exit and were waiting for us. So as we were going to rejoin them, we ended up off the motorway. Important to say this was not on the motorway, because I've seen a few articles saying it was on the motorway. And when we were by ourselves, Aventadors nowhere in sight, so they were also not involved, because there were a few articles saying that we'd crashed into one of the Aventadors. That is not the case. The only reason the Aventadors were in all of the photos of the accident was just because they had rejoined afterwards as mates to just give a helping hand. They were not there at the moment of the accident, they came afterwards. As we were trying to rejoin them, we'd stopped at a stop sign. It was one of those stop signs which was kind of on a corner, so the car was stopped at a little bit of an angle. And this Renault Scenic came, I don't know if distracted by the car or hit, as we were stationary. We were not rolling, we were not moving, we were stationary, and this car just came and hit. The sound it made was terrifying. I don't know, I hope for you guys who've never been involved in a car crash, you'll know what I'm talking about. The metal to metal sound is just pretty shocking. So I got out of the car, thankfully. Most importantly, nobody was injured. There was only one driver, a man in the Renault Scenic. His car had hit on the opposite side that he was driving on. It hit on the right. It was a left-hand drive car, and for me, in the car that I was at the wheel of, it hit on Cole's side, on the right-hand side of the car as well. Just the way that worked, I don't know if you can picture it, but our car was at a bit of an angle, so when he clipped, it actually hit us. I think he was probably actually lucky to almost clip our car, because there was a sign right afterwards which he potentially would have gone into had he not been deviated by our car. After an accident, all parties involved need to draw a drawing of what happened.
Here as well, but same thing in this country.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, but effectively you draw and you write exactly what happened, you put all your information, etc., which is why I don't necessarily want to post it as well, because there's all the private information of both myself and the man who was driving the other car, who was very kind, very nice, and but he's since, look, I don't know why, come out in the press contradicting what we have put on this legally binding document. So there's one document, signed by both of us with the drawing, with an explanation, and that is legally binding, and it is what I'm conveying to you right now. I don't know if he's seen what's happening in the press, if he's heard that we make YouTube videos, if he's realized the true value of the car, but as a result, he has now since changed his story from when we signed with the insurance and told the insurance exactly what happened, which is just not correct, I think. So I don't know exactly what's happening there and on his side, but what I'm conveying to you now is what is on the Constat. And look, it really sucks. It sucks for obviously the guys who spent so long building the Batmobile, who were incredibly kind, generous, thoughtful about the whole situation. You know, they said, look, this is the risk you take when you drive on public roads. You know, not much you guys could do, so look, we'll see if it's fixable. You know, the molds are already done and things like that, so I believe it is fixable. I'm going to do the best I can, as well as the entire team, to bring that car back to life. It is such a legendary, beautiful and incredible feat, that car, and you know, we'll do whatever we can to see it back on the road, bigger and better than ever. And that's actually, you know, an exciting concept when you think about it. There's some potential that we can do there. So trying to see the best of a bad situation, really. But they were very understanding. Everyone was very kind afterwards. You guys sent some really, really kind messages. The guys from the Aventadors, Rana and Bazzi, and Mr. Cars and Coffee were so kind and supportive. Cole was very calm and supportive as well. You know, we were trying to be supportive of each other, obviously in a bit of shock. We were very lucky, because if the car had hit at a different angle or something like that, it could have been pretty bad. You know, if we had been in the road, it would have been a side-on collision, and that would have been, you know, really bad as well. So that was sort of very scary. And yeah, I mean, it was just wrong time, wrong place. These things happen. Spend a lot of time driving, and you know, at some point you are also dependent on the actions of other people around you. So yeah, so I mean, now it all goes into insurances and all of that sort of stuff, which I'm not going to get into with you guys because it's not particularly interesting, to be honest. We put a video on the French channel where I've actually been reading through some of the comments. Now there's a clip where I say I've broken my thumb. I mean, we can roll that clip right now.
My thumb. What? Let me see.
Now, in that clip, that sort of appears to be right after the crash. It was pretty soon afterwards, but as you can tell, I was already out of the car, etc., etc. Now, I've seen on the French channel quite a few people being like, well, obviously the cameras are rolling. Why have you not put footage of the accident? Annoyingly, no cameras were rolling. We didn't have any GoPros up, and Cole just had the camera in his hand. And I mean, I don't know, you can probably
I can't even remember doing it, but I think I literally just started recording at one point where the clip starts.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember clicking it. I must have just had my camera in my hand and switched it on.
Yeah, so I mean, I wish there was footage of the accident, because it would just clear things up so nicely. But the only clip that we really have is right then and there. How did our car end up in the middle of the road? You know, did it roll? How did it roll without one of the wheels? Because I remember putting the handbrake on. I mean, again, I don't know if you've ever been in an accident, but it's all kind of a bit of a blur afterwards. There was a big hit. I remember needing to put the handbrake on, and then got out, and that was where the car was. I mean, we know we were stopped stationary. And then the thing that's scary is how far the Renault was actually afterwards. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to throw out any figures because I don't actually know. But it was pretty fast. Speed limit was 80 kilometers an hour on that road. You know, we don't know. There's no way of knowing really how fast the impact was. I mean, 0 from our end, and I don't know from the other. But it was a decently hard hit. You know, we did agree on what had happened in the situation with the other driver and stuff. So, you know, it's all going to the insurances, and it'll all be fine, I'm sure. And so, but I just wanted to clear everything up. Because there were rumors that we'd crashed into one of the Aventadors. That is not the case. Rumors that we had crashed on the motorway, which isn't, I mean, you know, thankfully that was not the case, because that would make things a lot worse. You know, we were lucky not to be more injured. We were lucky the car didn't spin into the sign that was next to us, didn't spin into the barrier, didn't spin into the middle of the road and another car hit us. Obviously, it's an unfortunate situation, but you need to be aware of how lucky you are to you know, that it wasn't much worse. And you know, these things happen. We were very lucky. We were in an incredibly fortunate position to be in a Batmobile in the first place, doing a road trip. You right?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe clear up, because you mentioned that in the video you say you broke your thumb. Just maybe clear that you didn't, and show what actually happened.
Yeah. No, my thumb. So I thought I'd broken my thumb. It's very weird. Like when I came out, my hand was like super swollen. I've got like burns and stuff. But it then normally I think, I don't know, I'm no doctor. Normally something doesn't hurt that much on the spot and then gets worse with time and more swollen, etc. This literally was really bad and very painful at the time. Very swollen. My hand was just completely swollen, and this was all pretty bad. But so no, my thumb is not broken. It's sore. And then there's this stuff. But I mean, nothing. The fact that that's all there was is unbelievable. So that's clearing up the thumb. If you were wondering, you're fine, aren't you?
I'm absolutely fine. Yeah, very lucky, as you said, not a scratch, but
yeah,
so close.
Huge thanks to everyone who sent messages out, because that really helped. Obviously, a bit shaken up after that, but seeing all of the messages and stuff really helped. Just morally getting back together. And this is it. I mean, just wanted all the facts to be out there. And yeah, I mean, you know, on the French channel, it sort of blew up on the French channel because it happened in France. There were all sorts of news reports in France on it. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it in future videos and stuff. I just wanted to clear the air once and for all and go from there. I mean, our last video, ironically, was the reactions of people around London in the Batmobile. And now this one is a slightly more tragic perspective of that same car. Yeah, I mean, anything you want to say, Cole?
I think you've pretty much kind of covered everything. I mean, there's always going to be speculations and stuff, but yeah, these are just the facts that we lived through, and now we just shared it. So
yeah. Also, one other thing is, I am not Jean Ragnotti, the rally driver's grandson. I have no idea how in all of this that came out, but I've been being asked that tons. Everyone's saying, oh, you know, that explains everything. You're the grandson of Jean Ragnotti, the rally driver. And I was like, you what? So, I mean, I know him. He's a lovely guy. Loads of respect for him. We did a rally together. I mean, we spent a week together and that's it. But now obviously those photos have resurfaced, and I guess it was a good story. I don't really know the way it works in that industry. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. It's, you know, helped us so much. I also want to say thank you to the police who were on the scene. Thank you to the guys with the tow truck who ended up actually letting us stay there for like an hour and a half afterwards because we had nowhere to go. Thank you to the subscriber who then drove us to our ferry to get us back to London. Thank you to our friend Andy, who then also drove us from Dover to London and brought us back home safely. So thank you to all of those people as well. And thank you, of course, to you guys for your continued support, and more English videos on the way soon, I hope. Cheers, guys. See you very soon. Bye-bye.